Irish squad has been announced. There are 6 uncapped players in this lot. And seemingly, if you guys, as always, not selected, or some big names also unavailable due to injury, overall, it's a pretty useful looking squad, but we'll go through it. And you guys can let me know your thoughts and how you reckon these guys are going to go to finish off the Six Nations and in the Autumn Nations Cup. Should be interesting times. International rugby, man. It's back on the cards. Props, you got Beelum, Ed Byrne, Kian Healy, Andrew Porter, and John Ryan. So Beelum's back in after what seems like quite a long time between drinks. Is it just me, or has he not been around the Ireland squad for a while? Or have I just got a really bad memory? I'm just thinking, I always just think Kian Healy, Tyke Furlong. Tyke Furlong is obviously absent, but he's injured. Kilcoyne's injured as well. Andrew Porter's got 26 caps. I think Ed Byrne's the uncapped man. Beelum's got 9. Kian Healy's got 98. John Ryan's got 21. So, for the most part, relatively experienced. And Ed Byrne is no like spring chicken. He's in his late 20s. So, you'd have to think these guys are going to do pretty well up front. But if that Leinster Saracens game showed us one thing, I know Leinster is not Ireland, but there's a fair few Leinster representatives here. That's an area you need to get right. So yeah, anyway, Kian Healy should hit 100 caps soon, so let's hope he stays fit. Hooker, you feel like since Rory Best left, that hooker jersey still hasn't quite had anybody really grab it by the scruff of the neck and make it their own. So you got Heffernan, Herring, and Ronan Kelleher. All these guys are capped, but nobody, I think Herring is the most capped with 11. So Ronan Kelleher seems to be kind of the next big thing. But with 3 caps, he still needs to make that jersey his own. And I think even with Leinster, he lost his starting spot 1 week after some bad kind of line-out throws. So, well, just not. It's not always about the throw, but at least the line-out that wasn't kind of 100% operational. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Locks, you got Ryan Baird, who's one of the uncapped guys, deserving of a spot, you'd have to say, based on what I've seen of him, which is limited, but he's looked pretty bloody useful when I've seen him. Ian Henderson, 50 plus caps. James Ryan is there. Quinn Rue is there as well. Ian Henderson is just class. The team always looks better when he's in the lineup. Likewise, James Ryan. I think he's only been relatively recently back from injury, but he's world class, so you definitely want him on your side. No Devon Toner. It's kind of in and out of the squad with him, out of the World Cup, then back for the Six Nations, and now seemingly out again. But with Ryan Baird coming in, different style of player, but yeah, you'd probably have to be pretty happy to see some of the younger guys getting a crack. Lucy's, I know Tyke Byrne can kind of float between positions, but you got Tyke Byrne, Will Connors, Jack Conan, Caelan Doris, Peter O'Mahony, CJ Stander, and Josh Van der Fleer. Tyke Byrne, I don't know that I've seen him. He seems to have injury woes as well, or is that just me not watching enough Munster games? If he's fit, man, he's one of the best guys at turning ball over that I've seen for a big man. Will Connors is one of your uncapped guys. I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of him, but people were talking him up in terms of being a big tackler, and that's kind of been proved to be true from what I've seen of him. Jack Conan's been around about the place for quite some time, only 17 caps, despite the fact that he's pretty experienced. Caelan Doris is another one of these young, seemingly bags full of talent, up-and-coming players. Peter O'Mahony also, likewise, is coming back from an injury layoff, if I'm not mistaken. Hell of a player in the air. And a couple of years ago was, I think, one of the best Lucy's in the world. Has he gone off the boil? Has he been injured? Have I just not been watching enough of him? All of the above. Who knows? CJ Stander as well, speaking of turnovers. I think he was your best guy in Six Nations prior to lockdown. So he was an absolute machine. And Josh Van der Fleer, in terms of just pure work rate, you won't find many better. The guy just makes the opposition uncomfortable with that huge ticker of his. So that's the forwards. Like I mentioned, Furlong and Kilcoyne being injured, Devon Toner. I'm trying to think of other guys that have maybe been snubbed. Do let me know some in the comments. Scrum halves is maybe one area that's going to be pretty contentious. So you got Connor Murray. He's always going to be selected. Kieran Marmion is in, and he's kind of a guy that comes in and out of the squad. And it's Jamison Gibson Park has been picked. So there's no John Cooney, which seems pretty tough. No Luke McGrath. Is he injured or is he just not selected? Who's been starting for Leinster? Has it been Gibson Park or has it been McGrath? I mean, Cooney prior to lockdown was he the best 9 in the world at that time, man? He was just carrying a team, like much the way Aaron Smith's been doing for the Highlanders down here in Super Rugby Aotearoa. Cooney was just immense, although from what I've seen of him since lockdown, he's been a bit ordinary, and he did lose his starting spot for one game that I saw Ulster play. But it seems a bit tough to cut him that quickly. I don't know. You guys who are up in Ireland will have to let me know how Cooney's been going for Ulster. How's Gibson Park been going for Leinster? How's Marmion been going in his games? For Connacht, I don't know. That one seems like a bit of a controversial one, but if nothing else, it shows you guys have got loads of 9s. Fly half, you got Ross Byrne, Jack Carty, and Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton, who's captain. Guy is injured. Name is not coming to my mind. I'm looking at his face. Irish Kiwi guy, speaks with a half accent. Oh man, he's injured. The Munster guy, he left Leinster. Goodness me, what can't I think of his name? It'll come to me. But is Byrne the second guy? Not sure. My kids are home. I need to wrap this up. Bundy Aki, Chris Farrell, Robbie Henshaw, Stuart McCloskey, and Ringrose in the midfield. You guys have got loads to like there. Aki, tackle breaker, Chris Farrell, absolute beast of a man. And then you got that Leinster pairing of Henshaw and Ringrose. Plus, I've quite liked McCloskey at his games for Ulster as well. So I think there's bags of talent there. Outside backs, Conway are one of the most underrated wingers in the world for mine. Shane Daly's one of your uncapped guys. I don't think I've seen a lot of him, but he seems like he's got a bit of potential. Hugo Keenan, likewise, I've seen him a couple of times for Leinster. Lama is still that guy who seems to have a bit of a point to prove at international level, especially under the high ball, but we'll see. And Jacob Stockdale, maybe as a guy who's fallen a little bit from grace in terms of going from kind of like O'Mahony, like Murray, when Ireland were at the peak of their powers in 2018, from being maybe like first choice world winger to a good winger. I don't know. He's been playing fullback a bit recently from what I've seen of him as well. Keith Earls is injured, so yeah, no choice for him there. Would he still make the squad? Probably. He was in pretty good form the other day when I saw him, but anyway. There's also a wider training squad with Harry Byrne, Craig Casey, James Lowe, who's eligible in November, James Tracy, and Finnan. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. Somebody let me know. I haven't seen him play from Munster's youth side. But anyway, yeah, before my kids come and run and disrupt, it will be interesting to see how Ireland go. They've made a few changes. It's still a pretty solid looking core squad, you'd have to say. There's still a few guys, as I mentioned, the likes of O'Mahony, the likes of Murray, maybe even Sexton to a degree, who we know can probably play better than Ireland's results have been shown. I think they're 4th in the Six Nations. Remember, they've still got 2 games to play. So I still think there's a lot to like about this. Some world-class locks. Very, very good loosies. World-class. I'm pretty happy, man. Having seen the Wales and now the Irish squad, I'm pretty keen to see these guys get back into action, because there is just absolutely bags of talent in both squads. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. Other guys who maybe have been snubbed, do let me know. I just thought of a few. There's, as I mentioned, a few guys out injured. But yeah, Gibson Park, is he worth a shout at 9? Does James Lowe come into the squad when he is available in November? You guys have any thoughts? I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.